Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And yes, I have my lighting and I have my fan. Temperature dropped a little bit, which is why now I'm wearing long sleeves, but I digress. So, I really had a lot of fun doing videos about the books that I'm currently reading, the books that I want to read, but I haven't gotten to them yet. I've joked that I don't have to-be-read piles or TBR piles. I have to-be-read towers, and I do. I have, because to me a pile of books would be like 3 or 4. I'm currently reading approximately 18 different books. I take turns. I have bookmarks, especially my beloved Eclipse magnetic bookmarks, which I love, 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 love. I have several that I haven't even fished out yet. But I figured it's time to do a new one, and I decided to focus on these 4 books because I've been spending the most amount of time with these 4 books. I will read the synopses to you. In the description box, I will include any websites for the authors. It's just be easier to include the websites because sometimes I will go overboard and give you all their socials, and I'm like, Robert, just the website will have all that information. It's okay. You can leave them the website and they can find out on their own. Okay. So first, we have Bindle Punk Bruja, a novel by Desideria Mesa. Desideria. What a beautiful name. So this is the cover. This is the cover. This is the back of the cover. This is Ms. Mesa. Mesa, by the way, is the Spanish word for table. Una mesa, a table. So anyway, hot jazz and cold drinks, all with some witchy charm. So, yo soy quien soy, which is Spanish for I am who I am. It's in Spanish and then it's in English. Luna, or depending upon who's asking, Rose, is the white passing daughter of an immigrant mother who has seen what happens to people from her culture. This world is prejudicial, and she must hide her identity in pursuit of owning an illegal jazz club. Using her cunning powers, also known as her witchy powers, Rose negotiates with dangerous criminals as she climbs up Kansas City's bootlegging ladder. Luna, however, runs the risk of losing everything if the crooked city councilmen and ruthless mobsters discover her ties to an immigrant boxcar community that secretly houses witches. The last thing she wants is to put her entire family in danger. But this bruja, with ever-growing magical abilities, can never resist a good fight. With her new identity, Rose, an unabashed flapper, defies societal expectations, all the while struggling to keep her true self and her witchcraft in check. However, the harder she tries to avoid scrutiny, the more her efforts eventually capture unwanted attention. Soon, she finds herself surrounded by greed and every brand of bigotry, from local gangsters who want a piece of the action, and businessmen who hate her diverse staff, to the Ku Klux Klan and Al Capone. Will her earth magic be enough to save her friends and family? As much as she hates to admit it, she may need to learn to have faith in others, and learning to trust may prove to be her biggest ambition yet. Desideria Mesa can often be found getting lost in a historical, sci-fi, or high fantasy novel, or crafting her own stories, of course. Aside from churning out novels, she enjoys writing songs, poetry, and short stories. Follow her on Twitter for writing discussions, slightly inappropriate jokes, and more information on her historical fantasy debut, Bindle Punk Bruja. Now, I want to read to you a little bit of the inside. Bindle Punk An early 20th century term to describe one who carries his clothing or bedding in a bundle, usually derogatory in nature. Also used to classify a hobo, wanderer, migrant worker, tramp, or one who has no home. In today's modern world, these people are referred to as the unhoused, as opposed to the homeless. And we know that a bruja is the Spanish word for female witch. So, the Kansas City is in Kansas, just in case you were wondering. Although, I will actually need to have somebody look at the map that is in this book to see if it is actually Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri. This was published by Harper Voyager, which is an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers, and it is copyrighted 20... Where is the copyright? I don't see the copyright. That is so crazy. I will include the copyright in the description box. I did not even notice that, and I've looked at that page a bazillion times. Okay, so the next one I'm reading is called Love, Potions, and Moonlight by Kota Quinn. Autumn Sinclair owes it to his coven. Yes, this Autumn is a guy. Autumn Sinclair owes it to his coven to be the next witch in an arranged marriage. Realizing he can't escape fate, he wanders into Rook's apothecary, searching for a love potion that will help him fall in love with the man he'll be forced to marry. Rook is a wolf who can't hide his beastly appearance, which is fine. He has his shop, his best friends, and his secret crush on the beautiful man who walks by his window every day. That is, until one morning, Autumn walks into Rook's shop. Welcome to Heart's Hollow, a magical small town where all paranormals and humans can walk around openly and be true to themselves. And this is part of the Cauldrons and Kisses series of man-to-man romance novels. And there's an illustration in the inside. I'm going to bring it closer so you can see it. Drake, can they see this? So that's Autumn on the left and Rook on the right. And no, Rook is not a werewolf. He is a wolf man, if anything. I think he always has his wolf form, so that does not make him a werewolf shifter. I'm very early in this book. Haven't gotten to it yet. This one, Bindle Punk Bruja, I'm already in chapter 5. So that one has been getting a lot of my attention. And then we have Tales from the Tarot, Where Fools Have Tread by Jennifer Cody. This one is so juicy. And yes, it is based on the Fool card of the Tarot. And for the record, there are only 22 of them. So different authors. It's part of a multi-author collaborative series. And for the record, I'm not reading them in the order in which they were published. I'm reading them in the order of the Fool's Journey. So, Key 0, the Fool. Dece. Dece is spelled capital D-E-C, but it is pronounced like Reese. In Dece's own words, I've never really had much in the way of direction in my life until I walk into an eerie shop where a strange man charges me more than I should pay for a tarot reading of one card. Next thing I know, I'm graduating school to be a domestic servant and find myself employed by someone else's weird uncle in the strangest mansion. Everyone is great, even if they're all a little off. Except Thorin. He's a thorn in my side, and I'm not sure how I feel about him dropping his cards all the time just to make me pick them up for him. And in parentheses, My ass is not what he's looking at because what? And now in Thorin's own words, I've known since I was a child the path I would take in life. I'm a guardian, one of the trustworthy, and I am excellent at my job. I take my pleasure wherever I can find it because I've earned every second of my leisure time with the hours, days, and weeks of work I put in on every mission. Finding pleasure in teasing the new butler is new, but Dee seems to like it just as much as I do, no matter how often he tries to hide in the cleaning closet. And in parentheses, I'm definitely looking at that ass because yum. That's what it says. Yum. I've often said that even if I was a bottom, I would absolutely still be an ass man. So, yes. And last but not least, The Final Strife, Book 1 of the Ending Fire trilogy by Saara El-Arifi. Now, let me tell you, I remember going to one of the Bookhaven Books Silent Book Club meetups earlier this year. And I want to say it was in May. Might have been April, but it could have been May of this year, 2024. And I saw a book called Feybound. Feybound is the first in the newest trilogy by Saara El-Arifi. Now, it just so happens that the second book in the series, which, if memory serves, is called Cursebound, written as one word, will be published, or is scheduled to be published in February 2025. I can wait. Some of you know that I'm waiting for the third and final installment in the Moonfall Saga trilogy by Will Rollins, known for his military secret ops novels. So I'm like, I can wait for the third installment of that. I can wait for the second and the third of the Bound, or the Feybound trilogy, if I remember correctly, by Saara El-Arifi. So I remember asking Tara, the living goddess of Bookhaven Books, if she had any other novels written by Saara El-Arifi, and she said that she had this, the first novel in this series. So, of course, now here's the interesting thing. I'm not ready to read this book, but it kept drawing me. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm going to read you now, whether I'm ready for you or not. This first book of a visionary fantasy trilogy with its roots in the mythology of Africa and Arabia, quote, sings of rebellion, love, and the courage it takes to stand up to tyranny, end of quote. This is something that those of us who did not vote for the felonious thug will be dealing with over the next 4 years. Hell, we've been dealing with it since 2015, so you know. This was said by Samantha Shannon, author of The Priory of the Orange Tree. And by the way, I've been drawn to that one as well. So, this first book of a visionary fantasy trilogy, with its roots in the mythology of Africa and Arabia, is as three women band together against a cruel empire that divides people by blood. The empire rules by blood. Red is the blood of the elite, of magic, of control. Blue is the blood of the poor, of workers, of the resistance. Clear is the blood of the servants, of the crushed, of the invisible. The Octobar, a set of trials held every 10 years to find the next ember rulers of the empire, is about to begin. All can join, but not just anyone can win. It requires great skill and ingenuity to become the future wardens of strength, knowledge, truth, and duty. Scylla was destined to win the trials and be crowned Warden of Strength. Stolen by the blue-blooded rebels, she was raised with a duster's heart. forged as a weapon to bring down from within the red-blooded embers regime of cruelty. But when her adopted family was brutally murdered, those dreams of a better future turned to dust. However, the flame of hope may yet be rekindled, because Sila wasn't made to sparkle. She was born to burn. And it's up to her whether she rules the empire or destroys it. Every time I want to not read this book, I start reading it. Every time I think to myself, I'm not ready yet, I start reading it. And I will tell you, it consumes me. Like, even when I'm just reading the different reviews and the different blurbs from different authors and publications, it's like I lose track. So, after reading Feybound, even before I began reading Feybound, Saara El-Arifi had a new fan in me, and she still does. And I cannot wait to begin reading this properly. Copyright is 2022, by the way. For Where Fools Have Tread, copyright is 2024, is published this year. For Love, Potions, and Moonlight by Kota Quinn, also 2024 this year. And I still find it odd that I cannot find the copyright for this book. That is so bizarre. I will find it. I'll include it in the description box, and there you have it. So these are the books that I'm currently reading, that I'm spending time with, that I am fighting hard not to devour in one fell swoop, and giving myself permission to absolutely, sweetly, and slowly savor them. I give enormous gratitude and praise to all of these authors, to the publishing houses who published their books, to the independent booksellers and websites who sell these books, to anybody who has reviewed them, and anybody who's written blog posts about them, done Instagram lives about them, or any other lives that I haven't gotten to yet about these books. I want to thank Tara for stocking both Bindle Punk Bruja and The Final Strife, as well as her recommendations about them. I want to thank Kota Quinn and Jennifer Cody for being parts of these multi-author collaborations. And of course, I want to thank all of the individuals who have purchased these books and reviewed them and given me the honor and pleasure of discovering them through their works. And of course, I want to thank all of you in YouTube land for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And an extra big and bountiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions. I wish all of you a beautiful night, a wonderful week. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, a beautiful and blessed and most thankful of Thanksgivings. If you celebrate Mourning Day of Indigenous culture, I wish you a very healing and profound Mourning Day. And as always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video.